Welcome, ghouls, demons, fellow weird ones. And here we are for another segment of the Tale Behind the Art series that I'm doing. And let's see. Oh, cheers, everybody. End of the day, end of my tea. Here we are. I'm going to talk about from the Hermit to the Hierophant. We're going to talk about staying weird and water of the womb. So that catches me up on my current projects. And now we're about to step into a new astrological year with a bunch of new things. I have a good rhythm and routine down. I was just texting my husband about how this foundation setting has been a lot of work, lots of headaches, a lot of lights and everything else. But I'm really happy that I did it. I think it really sets a good sense of self, lots of beautiful reflection, a lot of insight to my community and clients, fans, whatever. I don't know what to call people. I don't want to be weird about it. Friends and all of the above. So this is me, and it's been really cool to dive into all of this. And these last three collections that I'm going to talk about, I didn't say it the best for last because it's not the last, because this is just the beginning of all the things that I'm starting. But I saved this group for the end of this foundation setting because one, it's all I got left. But how I grouped them together, I the Tetris move, because it wasn't completely in order, but it definitely felt like a game of Tetris and setting a solid block. So with that, before I get started, standing ovation for my outfit. And that is because my lovely Erin, I love that. She inspired this outfit. I was going through a few different outfits for the goth prom that she was a part of. And I sent this one because I was like, well, I like the pleated skirt. It's my, where did I get this? It's my satanic skirt, my atheistic Satanism. I don't think I got this from Black Craft. I think I got this from Killstar, maybe. Pretty sure it's Killstar. I'm pretty sure I used the gift card that Phoenix gave me. She gave me her gift card from Killstar, and I got a few pieces. I think this is one of them. But I've always really struggled with like a top for this skirt. I don't know why. It always made me uncomfortable every top I've tried with this. But Erin, she asked me to put this on with this because I think I tried something different, and she told me to be very combative. It just felt so empowering. And I love a good Aries queen telling me how to not just embrace like a masculine side, but an authoritative side. Like, this is woman in charge. Now, when I get Doc Martens and some solid combat boots, my combat boots were another casualty of the surveillance. And then other ones were casualty of bad weather because they were cheap shoes. But anyway, so I'm wearing my Mary Jane's. I don't know why that was leaving my brain. Probably because I'm exhausted getting through all of this, but lots of beautiful work. But anyway, I got my key, my Hecate key that has tourmaline in it. I got this at the Oddities Fest in Memphis. Absolutely love this piece. It caught my eye very randomly. But anyway, I feel like it brings this together. I did want my space buns with this. I think that would be a lot more fun. However, with all this batch work that I'm doing, I just did not have the energy for that. So we have another hairstyle. And then we have this beautiful skirt and this really empowering cropped turtleneck. But yeah, it does feel very authoritative. It feels very combat, and I absolutely love it. So standing ovation, all the love in the world for Miss Erin, who has been helping me just refigure out how to express myself fashionably, especially as I'm going through all of these different endeavors and experiences. So it's been really fun to reconnect this side of me and to have an Aries, which is my South Node, my past life, and all these other symbolisms. I guess hold my hand through this initiation. We all need a confrontational with a beautiful heart Aries in our lives. With that, Mr. Valus, you playing with the ball. Sorry, he's just so cute. They're getting restless. It's been a long couple days. I know, puppies. you're so good. We're almost done and dad will be home and it's gonna be bad. Anyway, so let's get into it. We're gonna start with the Stay Weird collection. So this one, I have some merch. I started toying around with merch designs and I wanted to not just really brand myself, but yeah, everyone was telling me I needed to offer more than just candles, because of everything that went into the candles. They were expensive and people would still want to support me. They could do it in different ways. And, everyone loves t-shirts and all of the above. And I mean, Chad told me it was expensive and ridiculous to charge $40 for a t-shirt. I mean, I wasn't making a decent profit. Like it cost me like $30 to $35 to make them if I only make one. If I order in bulk, it's a little bit less. But because of how I operate, where I'm at, I don't have the overhead, like all of these details. I had to charge what I charge. And to me, it was just worth it to get my brand out there. Like, as long as I somewhat broke even, I didn't care. So that's why I priced them. And I also found out that people who say they would love to support you if you had less expensive items, they still won't support you. People who want to support you will support you and they'll find a way to support you. And I get it. People have a lot of different financial circumstances. I don't want to sound insensitive. People have accused me of being insensitive, and I'm the fucking most sensitive person on this goddamn planet. So please don't misunderstand me. It's just I have bent over backwards to be accommodating and affordable and expansive. Like I like exclusivity, but I don't like excluding anybody. I like limited, unique, one of a kind pieces, but I don't like gatekeeping. And I want everyone, regardless of who you are, regardless of your financial status and blah, 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 like any of these superficial bullshit things that don't matter, regardless of any of that, I want you to have access to the magic that it is that I'm giving, especially if it's something that I feel like you need. There is such a deep healing essence to me. And I believe money's fake. And I really get the construct of money and finances. So anyway, I started a bunch of merch so that way people could have stuff of mine with my logo, my brand, whatever. And this was a little photo shoot that I did in front of my ritual death, or our, not just mine. My husband got it. His ritual death portrait. Oh, fuck, what's the name? This is a painting of a photograph. So Horns, I can pronounce his name. Horns took the photo, I want to say. I could be wrong on that. Don't get upset with me, Black Metal community, if I say something wrong. I'm trying to keep all of this organized and it's not that easy. But anyway, so then something. I've talked about him before. He did my Marilyn Manson portrait that my husband gifted me, which everyone has controversy about Marilyn Manson. I don't want to get into it. It's a Leo moon thing. It's a Capricorn thing. Leave me alone with Marilyn Manson and my love for his music. I don't want to get into it. But the same artist did that, and he does this really cool ink, black and white. I don't know what his style is. I don't know what to call that. But I think he's very talented. I really appreciate his work. And anyway, so we have that. So my Stay Weird, which is because I have shirts that say Stay Weird on it. That's part of one of my branding pieces, but it's weird as in WYRD, not WEIRD. But that goes into the etymology of it all and what is it? The full spectrum of weird and my use of the word and intention, and everything is so deeply layered and intentional. I'm tired of saying that. But everything that I do has so much purpose and symbolism. And as much as there are times where things are happy accidents and probably more unconscious and subconsciously intentional, there is a lot of depth and intention that goes into my work and everything that I do. And a lot of it, sometimes it's even in reflection. I won't realize what seed was planted or what was intuitively guiding me at the time. But my friend Carissa, my Sagittarius babe, created my logo for me. I used the logo. I used Canva, edited some things so I could put it on a black t-shirt. I have variations of it. I have like the Wyrd Curations in the front. I have some that have like Wyrd Curations like in a small little like side pocket thing. I have stuff that's just on the back. Like I expanded and experimented with merch. Candle coasters, which a lot of these things are still somewhat available. I'm trying to I deleted or I took off a lot of things from the store. I have a few things that I kept. I've been going through this I don't know, just prioritization of what I want to spend my time on. And merch is something that I do still enjoy. I love creating. I think it's fun. And I want people to have these keepsakes. I think it's important for any business to have some type of branding. I mean, even musicians, bands have thousands of shirts. My husband is a consumer of all of those thousands of shirts. He's like, hey, I may not be able to support, I may not be able to fly to Norway every month to go to your concert, but I will order your t-shirts. I will get your vinyls. Like I know my husband's a great example of someone who is financially strapped, who will support the people that he loves and is passionate about. And I want people to love me the way that my husband loves me and loves his black metal bands. Like I just seeing that love and that passion is beautiful. And I have that love and that passion in what I create. And I want to share that with the world. And I'm really excited for when people get over this trend of hating me. Which for whatever reason, I mean it's been around for a long time, even before I started my business. But it kind of tends to be this thing, and I don't really know what it is. I know I'm flawed. I know I'm imperfect. I know I've shoved my foot in my mouth more times than anyone can count, but I know where my heart is, and I know what I'm doing is really cool. So I am excited for that time in my life where it just in full bloom, you know, and there is that support. And, you know, I have a few people who've gotten t-shirts and I love their hoodies and they rock their Wyrd hoodies. And I also have ones that say, like live deliciously, love authentically. That's another one of my mottos. And so I explored with it, and there's just me posing and doing all kinds of things. Especially because I'm fairly well known for wearing like oversized t-shirts and either undies or whatever. Like short shorts, booty shorts, my husband's boxers, whatever. And so I wanted to take photos with that kind of in mind. And then I experimented with some like mirror concepts with like the camera, not to. I messed around with a lot of editing on Canva and more like using graphic design within me, which I had started to do with stuff like Bewitched and a few, and what was it? Goddess of Shadows. So there's been moments in my life where I started this and I leaned into it, and I just wanted to show people like, yeah, it's a Wyrd Curations like t-shirt, but it's still aesthetic, you know, it's still fashionable, whatever. It's edgy. It's just like wearing a band t-shirt. And I wanted to expand on like my merch designs, and who knows what I'll keep, who knows what I'll redesign, who knows what I'll get rid of. But the people who have gotten a few things, one of my friends, she has like a tote bag of mine that I designed with like my branding on there, and all of that's been really cool. And it kind of, that was another that reconnected me to this like fashion side of things where like I used to put in a lot of effort as a kid to design stuff. And I've talked about that before. And so getting back into design, not just like branding, but like designing. And I've tried learning how to knit. I've wanted to learn how to crochet and do all of those things. But at the end of the day, I think I would just really like to know how to use my fucking sewing machine, but fucking finally. Sorry, that's such a touchy subject because I feel like my family really failed me by giving me the gift that I wanted and then not supporting me to use it, and then wondering why it stayed in the box all these years. I've kept it. I have not let go of that sewing machine. I let go of my piano, but I mean, I'm honestly very surprised at how the sewing machine didn't go away like the keyboard did, and how much I would kill to have that back. Just all of these different endeavors where I was left to figure it out for myself. And then when I couldn't figure it out for myself, I eventually just gave up. And this business venture has been like a repeat of that, except without me giving up. And also I'm not completely alone. And I get really emotional about it because at the end of the day, I at least have my husband and my family that I've created, and it's been really great. He's been he's been more than I could describe. And it's kind of crazy to think that that's all I needed was just one person besides myself to believe in me and to support me in all of these things. And so anyway, can't wait to fully get back into all of that. Because this whole journey has, I guess, been testing not only my faith in myself, but his faith in me. And that I told you so is going to be sweet, which he told me. He told me I get to be obnoxious about it. So what a present. This man knows me so well. He knows me so well that he has granted me the rite of passage to be obnoxious and flamboyant and tell him I told you so. I know I was right. You dumb bitch, you were wrong. Like I can't wait for it. I know he can't wait for it because it's going to be so sweet for everybody. Because as he tells me all the time, I want you to prove my doubts wrong. I want you to prove my anxiety wrong. I want you to prove that little voice in the back of my head wrong. The same voice that haunts him and everything that he does is the same voice that haunts me. And we both want to prove that little fucking stupid, pathetic voice wrong. And so anyway, all of this has been a whole adventure into it. So through my branding, I've been, just to share with a few people, I've been diving into more about how to design clothes, even if it's just for myself, or like I started getting more into vintage, not reselling, but like purchasing, like more thrifting than I've done before, and just building different things. But through thrifting, you can upcycle. I've met quite a few beautiful upcyclers. My girl, she's Dead Threads by Sid. She's on my Wyrd community page. She's an upcycler who does some really fucking awesome, edgy alternative designs. I can't wait for when she's a world famous designer one day. I wish nothing but the best for her. She's a really beautiful person. Pretty sure she's a fellow Aquarius. So I want like that for myself in my own way. I've had a few friends I've met who when time and life works out, we do plan on helping me learn how to sew. And I know there's more stuff on YouTube. Again, it's been a phase of prioritization. And so that's one of the things I'm prioritizing as I have to super prioritize, this is what the fig tree, isn't that the poet Sylvia Plath? Not being able to live every life that you dream of. Well, I'm prioritizing and finding ways to incorporate all of my artistic dreams into a life that is balanced. And that includes letting some of the tedious stuff go, or like how I do it, like not being, not having candles available at all times, like doing seasonal releases of candles. And maybe for clothes, that could be something that's strictly for me and that people only see in my podcast. Like, hey, this is something I designed, like whatever. And then maybe someone else can buy it and mass produce it. No, don't ever do that. I get mass production and technology being a beneficial thing, but we are obviously at a point of overwhelming the planet. So if I can find a way to make that better, that would be another lovely but hefty goal of mine. I just want to save the world one artistic expression at a time. I want ethical, sustainable ritual candles and crystals and all of the above. I want like ethical clothes, and I want ethical business. And it's all of this stuff that's deeply rooted in some realm of integrity of just trying to do the best that we can for ourselves and for nature. Like this balance that just seems so impossible. I dream of harmony. And that's why I think as I segue into from the Hermit to the Hierophant, a lot of the stuff has been stuff that is just I've constantly been turning inward about, and then constantly wondering how the fuck I can make it happen. And that's where you have to pick and choose, right? You have to only enjoy certain figs. You have to pick the most precious figs that will be best for you. And I know for me, that's like writing. I feel like that's one of my biggest callings. That's something that I've contemplated. Are my lunar memoirs really worth it? Is that a foundational piece of my life? And it is. My writing is something that can't go away. My candles can go away. Even fashion designing can go away. I would argue podcasting could go away. People may disagree with that because of what a yapper I am. But if I had to choose, my friend Riley had asked me if I had to choose one thing, what would it be? And I guess I would say writing because, I honestly, after I'm done writing in the morning, because I write fast, I write a lot. I wrote 15 pages in 3 hours the other day. Like once I get into it, like it doesn't take much for me. So I love like how that flows into my day because then it opens me up for opportunity to do stuff like the podcasting and the content creation on social media, which I do love that like level of self promotion. Me to make candles, same with my dogs, like all of these like little things that are just extra luxuries in my life. So I don't know. So if I would argue, that's the way for me to get my inner world out, where all of my other expressions, maybe it's not meant for me, or like I said, maybe it's there. I'm learning that some things are meant just for me, and that's kind of crazy. Like I said, fashion designing. I don't have to be this world-class fashion designer and make clothes for a bunch of people. I can make clothes just for me. I can make candles just for me. My super flamboyant, extravagant candles that are gorgeous that people love but don't want to pay for or can't afford for a variety of reasons. Both statements are true. Maybe it's just for me. And that's okay. I've learned that I don't have to give away all of myself to everybody, but at the same time, I do like things being available in certain ways. And so that's kind of been how things have been balancing and I guess recalibrating. And so this piece, which was August of 2025, we just got in. I don't know if you can see it, but it's our human skull traditional incense burner thing. There's a term for it. Fucking never remembers. I never remember it when I want to, but it's the Catholic thing. It swings and you cleanse everything. Well, we have a human skull with is it Atlas and then Axis? Or is it Axis and Atlas? Whatever. It's one of the main cervical bones. Fuck me. Trust me, I took so many anatomy classes and it shouldn't be this hard, but brain fog. It's okay. Don't have to remember everything all the time. Anyway, it's over there. You can't see it, I don't think. But you've seen it. You can see it in this collection here. You can see it in many of my other videos. My husband and I post about it a lot. It was carved with this beautiful sigil that I can't remember the name of that my husband put intention into. This was a surprise. I didn't know he ordered this. And good thing he did. It was before a lot of weird things happened with customs and tariffs. It's from Austria or Germany. Same. Still, I'm wearing my ring. Same beautiful lady. I don't know if she pronounces her name Stefani or if it's Stephanie. With the accent, I'm sure it's something along the lines of Stefani. But she designed our wedding rings, and she also designed that for us. There's so many more of her pieces that if we had the extra funds and or just lived close where shipping wasn't such a motherfucker, she designs not just beautiful jewelry, but just beautiful bone pieces that I really love. And I don't want to do what she's doing, but I want to incorporate more of bone work because I do all kinds of stuff with the graveyards and everything that I post about. Every time I've gotten canceled online is because of animals and things and whatever else. So it's not that it's not within my practice. The human bone thing has definitely not been within my practice. They have better access to human bones in Europe, apparently, in ways that you don't in America, which whatever. Things are also super inflated here. Like you could get, it was 300 something is for that piece. But here for a full skull, they'll charge you a couple $1,000s. People are weird about stuff in the United States. But anyway. Got this we got this. It came in the mail. And the same day that it came in the mail and Chad's like looking at it and it's showing it is the day I took these videos because I wanted to take a video to show things. And then like I got this idea of how I was holding it and it kind of gave me like Plague Dr. Lantern vibe. And then as soon as I went there, I instantly thought of the Hermit. And then it just was like, connecting these dots of the Hermit and the Hierophant and how they are one and the same, and how the Hierophant has to Hermit, and like just another appreciation. I've had so much appreciation for my isolation moments. And I'm loving being alone more and more, to the point where it's almost impossible to get me out of not really my comfort zone, but my little nest. And I'm real selective of who I invite into my inner world. There I used to be just open to everybody. And now you need a secret passcode to get to a certain level with me. But it's just been a really beautiful transformation of not being used and taken advantage of, like having a backbone. Not that I didn't have a backbone, but I was just too empathetic. Uh, it gave everyone the benefit of the doubt, to where then it was this perception, because people just, they're like, oh, she's dumb. She's not paying attention. She doesn't see. She doesn't notice. She doesn't care. No, I held space for you to be flawed and awful to me. Because I always just thought you would do better. Because why are you? It's that inner child thing of, why are you hurting someone or something that's innocent? If I did something like obviously direct to you and you retaliate, that's different. But I'm not doing anything, or I'm not aware that I did something. You didn't even give me a chance to right my wrong or know that I offended you or hurt you. You're just attacking me for whatever issue is within you. And that goes into a lot of family stuff, which again, Hierophant, I feel like all of that was wisdom, and all of that, not really, some of it abuse, some of it trauma, some of it just difficult life experience. It's a whole spectrum of things, and not all of it bad, some of it really, really good. But even the highest of highs or the lowest of lows, it forced me into an internal, almost dissociative state. It would just, I would get triggered into some realm of consciousness where I wasn't as present, and I was in a more observer mode. And I feel like all of that has been a blessing for me, to be able to express myself as outwardly as I do now, and to express the lessons and the wisdom that I have. And so I really appreciate those moments in my life. And I really love my Hermit phases. I have so much more appreciation for them than I ever have. And now I think I'm getting comfortable with those Hierophant moments, where I am preaching to the masses in a sense. And so anyway, I'm in my cute little it's goth something. I can't remember, but it's like a little skater dress. It has like this really cute, like, sweetheart, whatever. I don't know. I really love it. I think it has something to do with Wednesday. I can't remember what they labeled it as, but I remember loving it, and that's why I bought the dress. But just real cute, real sassy. And then I have my huge dragon pendant, which is a neck knife that I didn't realize. I bought this dragon pendant from the knife people at the flea market without realizing that, of course, it would be a knife. But anyway, it's super cool. I absolutely love it. And so I'm wearing that, and through like different phases of the video, as I'm trying to like show this, as I was going through the video, I said, oh, I can screenshot this, I can screenshot that. And it just seemed fun. And then I went nuts with the different edits that I could build on Canva. Because, I was designing more books. I was doing more graphic design for my books. And so I wanted to see what I could do with my portraits. And this was, what did I say? Evolutionary transformation, but also an experimentation. I like putting myself in like the hellfire, the infernal realm, because, it's like Phoenix energy, being burnt down to the ashes and rising above with wisdom into this dragon or eagle flight. That I did like some cosmic, like intergalactic stuff. I did like this, like lightning expansion. Like there's a lot of different symbolism. There's infernal symbolism. You could go into Gnostic symbolism. There's Norse symbolism, Greek symbolism, just overall spirituality, astrology symbolism. There's so much fun that I have with this, but it's not necessarily meant to be taken seriously. And I can see how there maybe could have been a better edit, or there's maybe a different program that I need to get the exact look that I want. I feel like, even though you can obviously tell in a lot of other artworks of that way, I want it to look more real than it is. And I don't know if I'll ever get to that point of like blurring those lines without using some unethical technology to do it. Or I might have to find a way to create it using real elements. Like I might have to figure out how to create hellfire around me safely to do that. But anyway, it was lots of fun. And I also feel like there's more underworld symbolism and all of the above. All right. I want to get through this pretty quickly. This one, it's not self-explanatory. I wrote one of the longer descriptions. This is called Water of the Womb. So this is my most up-to-date project. One of my final releases that I did this before we went to Norway. And then I didn't edit them or do anything with them until we got back from Norway and around my birthday. But do a lot of ritual baths. But I started doing milk and honey ritual baths, and this one was a specific milk and honey bath with rose petals, and it was I think this was another Cancer full moon experience. It could have been a last quarter of some kind. I'm trying to remember the exact date. Did I? Okay, so Cancer full moon to Imbolc, and I think that's because Imbolc is when I posted it. Um, but it's kind of it's a feminine reclamation. I think I said that right. So I was baptized, and I've talked about that story a few times. I don't want to get too far into it. Find it somewhere in my lore. But I was baptized really young. So this was like a feminine baptism. I mean, my own baptism, denouncing the Christian baptism, denouncing the Christian God, and all of the things that baptism represented. It was reclaiming my femininity, moving away from that patriarchal religious structure and into a more matriarchal system. It was cleansing out my womb, a lot of like that Cancerian energy, just a lot of like deep healing, especially within that Capricorn axis, Capricorn Cancer axis, on top of the 4th and 10th house. There's a lot of different things and symbolisms, which is where there's the which is right here. My peacock feather wand that was gifted to me by another Todd. This is Solomonic Todd. I met him at the Nashville flea market, and he gifted that to me. He tells me I have a lot of Hecate energy, and he sees Hecate not within me. That I think that would be the best way to express it, or around me. And he's a real sweet dude. I wish him all the best in the world. He's very, very generous, very sweet. I loved everything that he did. It was really cool to see another spiritual person to that depth at the flea market promoting themselves here in Nashville, especially in the Bible Belt. And he taught me a lot about just attitude. Like he was so happy. He kind of reminded me of T. Todd in just certain mannerisms. So I would be curious to know what that's about. But Todd, the name, and I just love it. So anyway, I connected with him for a couple of months, but as I was telling everyone I'm not doing the flea market, and later there's changes in my life, I was back and forth with like my father in Massachusetts and just other different things going on. Now I was like, I have to say goodbye to the flea market. This is not something I can support anymore. And I'm not too sure exactly where I'm headed, but I have to remove this from my plate. And that meant saying goodbye to the people that I built relationships with it. So anyway, he gifted me that as like a going away present. So that's like it's within the symbolism and the artistry of this project. And I have a wine glass, not only for a chalice, and like I had a pomegranate elixir that I created within it, but it's also a representation of the alcoholism within my family, the alcoholic wound that my mother, um, instilled within me. My mother's alcoholism, I firmly believe, is the death of her. I think that's a demon that has its hold on her that I don't have all the faith that she'll ever let go of it or heal from it or anything. I think it's completely consumed her. And so through this ritual, there is always the hopes that as it heals within me, it carries on into her. I always want to heal my mom. I have a lot of empathy for my mom and a lot of things that she's been through. But the more I dive into it, the more I get to know it. Even before her alcoholism, my mom has always kind of had this thing. And is it nature or nurture? A lot of us that I've talked to, a lot of people who she's hurt, all of the situation, really just tried to figure it out, could figure it out. So this Cancer full moon, there was healing the mother wound. And so this was a deep ritual in correlation to that, on top of a baptism, which, cleansing all of the wounds and all of that, like, energy. I don't know how else to describe what it is I'm trying to express, because I did just say my mom had a demon of alcoholism. So hopefully that doesn't get lost in translation. So more nudity, more like birthday suit. It's also like a water of the womb. So I'm in a bath, and it's not just a baptism, but it's also like it's a rebirth in a lot of ways. I'm turning 30, so there's symbolism of that. Being posted on Imbolc, which is when the goddess reawakens, in like midwinter. So the rebirth is the spring, but technically in lore at Imbolc, uh, with Saint Bridget, it's when the goddess reawakens and she stretches her feet, and it's when the lambs are born, but they're still fragile and they're just building their strength. But there's those subtle signs of spring, which I think is where, is it tulips? I think it's tulips, where they kind of come into play in certain regions, and all of the beauty with that. I would have loved to have had tulips. There's so many ideas that I have that I would love to not just recreate certain things I've done, but to build off of these experiences. But this was a genuine ritual bath, and there, I have the flower petals like falling, and I wanted things to be unsettling and eerie. There's like that dark witch. It kind of reminds me of Evil Dead. Or there's that new Evil Dead. Like, it had to do with the mom. Was it like Evil Dead Mother or something? Anyway, I can't remember. It just came out like last year, 2 years ago, maybe a while ago. Time has flown, so I don't remember when this horror movie came out. But potentially. And so there's the petals with the healing, there, or light purple rose. So there's Persephone energy, there's Libra energy, as I heal this toxic mother, an illusion of a mom, so there's the false god, there's the false mother, and then moving into the divine mother and the divine unity of the universe and the true form of God, my genuine and authentic relationship to the spiritual realm, and my definition and relationship to God as a whole, not this conditional paradigm that I was brainwashed into as a child, but also not really brainwashed into. Because again, as I've talked about my Christian path and my connection to Jesus and Christ consciousness and all the above, I feel like a lot of my natural essence attached to Christianity, because my family was Christian but not Christian, and they will tell you I revamped a lot of the godliness within them, but I would say my spirit was like, oh, this is my cultural lens, I'm going to attach to it. And I feel like I made a lot of those decisions in my own way, but I also would argue that's because I knew it had to lead me here, blah blah blah, however you want to view that. So with this, there's a lot of fun, but I really like to play around with the lighting. Back to some of the eerie bathroom photos that I had talked about. With the cheap white tile that's in every apartment, because God forbid they actually like build things with quality anymore. But anyway, there's a lot of different poses to represent a variety of different things. It is like a sexual reawakening, but it's a feminine reawakening, and I feel like there's more of like a female gaze versus a masculine gaze. And I kind of talked about that transition in some of my photographic works, where I was like heavy in my masculine, or within that wounded masculine essence and toxic masculinity, because my mother didn't want me to be a woman. She genuinely did not want a daughter. So there is that. But she didn't want me to be I don't even know if she embraced being a woman. I don't know if it's because she wanted to be the only woman in the world, in her world. I don't know if she hates women. I don't know if she hates femininity. I don't know if she was a man in a past life and is really pissed off that she's a female. I don't know what her issue is. But especially when it came to her being a single mom, she really prides herself on being the father too. And she always instilled within me to never depend on a man, which is probably why my husband stresses me out because I depend on him a lot. I rely on my husband a lot. We are interdependent, not codependent. We work really hard to not be codependent, but relying on my husband to show up for me has been really hard. My mom has always taught me to not trust anyone to show up for me. And I feel like it's because she feels like people didn't show up for her. My parents are complicated in that whole divorce situation. I have a lot of empathy for my mother because I know who my father is. But I have a lot of empathy for my father because I know who my mother is. And to an extent, they deserve each other. They are two of the same monsters that mirrored one another. And instead of healing the demons within themselves with each other, they just continue to wreak havoc on everyone's life. And so that's when I talk about like my husband and I being like triggering to one another. I can see that same essence, that we are the same and we do deserve each other because we are the same monsters to one another. But when we face each other, we grow and we heal and we have a different intention and desire to want to do better and be better and nothing like where we came from. And that's all like represented within this collection. That was fairly emotional, and that's where, like you said, I wanted a lot of photos to be unsettling, and I also wanted there to be this, yes, the goddess is being reborn, and there is that soft, delicate essence, but there is, like I said, like this is a witch, this is witchcraft, this is a dark divine feminine being reborn, and there is like spookiness and like, I don't know, you just have to look at it and feel into it. But I think the lighting and some of the shading and like poses and all of the above symbolize that. But you can also like between the peacock eyes and then like how my eyes are and how the edit goes, there's a lot that you can really dive into and see that it's just really fucking cool. And yeah, and then just some, sensual shots, some footsie shots, and bath water with my hairy, hairy legs. For anyone who, I don't know if you can tell, but I have kept in that at that point I was waiting to do like a full shave and like body preparation for Norway. So everything was nice and what's the word? Spiky? Hairy. I was a hairy woman. I was a natural woman. God forbid. Which, by the way, I think my armpits are pretty present right now. Let's add into it. Because why not? So, yeah, so I wanted it to express some deep emotion. I wanted to highlight a lot of themes, but ultimately, this collection has to do with me healing my mother wound, looting that and clearing that out of my path and no longer having any power over me. I've really made sure between this year of the horse, between me turning 30, between everything, the end of my Pisces return, all of the things that I could possibly take with me into this next cycle, into this next chapter, into this new beginning, because it's also year one, right? There's all of these different symbolisms of new and beginnings and me just aligning with the life that I've always wanted to live. And part of that involves leaving my mother and my father, a lot of my family behind, but mainly my mother and the wounds that she instilled within me. And I don't know how much of my life my mom's going to be involved in. There was a huge mental breakdown about not being able to show up for my niece. And I feel like it's not because I can't show up for my blood family anymore. I think it's because there can't be any connection between me and my mother. That has to have great distance and boundary, as I have gone through all of these healing circumstances. So I'll have to be able to show up for my niece when my mother isn't present at this time, I suppose. I don't know. There's been a lot of interesting things that have come up from clearing out that space and that rebirth and that feminine, pagan, witchy baptism that I created through this ritual. So again, a lot of these, they're all rituals that are recorded and then screenshotted different stills of it. So they're meant to be imperfect and flawed, and the editing is meant to be grimy and a full spectrum of what if we do this edit? What if we do that edit? What does this look like? And some duplicates with different edits because they set different tones. And I really like that. So I'm excited for the rest of my creative life. And so that concludes the projects that I have so far. And then moving forward, as I have more projects, I have more stories to share with y'all. But in the meantime, enjoy. I think I have like almost 600 something videos on YouTube. So enjoy all of that and try to keep up.